Actually, how about my business is my community, and I have a right to enforce standards and norms that are good and traditional and conducive to flourishing? And how about you mind your own business?
Can we just pause on how hyperbolic
I
he
was
is?
just about to say the drama, like this bitch is clearly a gay man because the theatrics.
But he gets to enforce his standards and norms through the law. We're going to force one set of norms on people. It's not going to be his norms. So either he is setting himself up to lose, or he doesn't plan on doing any of this democratically.
Yeah, go be a like, now I mog you to death.
Now,
Hey guys, welcome back to Normal Gays, where we take on LGBT insanity. I'm Brad Polumbo, here with Clarkson Lawson.
What's up, guys? I know my voice is so
God.
sexy and raspy.
Oh my god, she's raspy today.
Join as a member on our channel because this week my sister's she's gonna attempt to embarrass me, but I don't really get embarrassed.
You're shameless.
But I don't really get embarrassed about things that I do. But she's gonna try and say a bunch of stuff about my childhood, I guess. I don't know.
I guess we'll find out, but
Yeah.
Make sure you become a channel member to support our work and unlock that. Now, we're going to talk about this new streamer who's kind of a rising star. I've criticized him a lot because he's part of the looks maxing movement that I think is insane.
Is this Clav?
It's Clavicular, Clav. But he just did an interview with our fave, Michael Knowles, on the Daily Wire, and he made this like hilarious comment about, he says this word for transgender people that we're going to have to bleep because it's considered a slur, about mogging and
Like when I said the word I did not know that was a bad word. Because trans people use it, and let's not front like they don't.
I'm sorry, this is just really funny.
Yeah.
But also, this shows you like the two genders of conservative thought. Let's listen.
I just don't think it's necessarily a bad thing to just advocate for your average person to only concern themselves with their own.
To me, that's the big cope. I agree with many of the observations you're making about the society, but the big cope, you heard this with like the libs when they were trying to push the trans stuff and they were upset that some of us were pushing against it. And they said, how does this affect you? You know, you're walking out, it's basically your society is Sodom and Gomorrah. And they say, well, how does it affect you if I decide I want to like castrate little kids in the school and redefine marriage and slaughter babies and sacrifice them to Moloch? And how does that affect you? You just mind your own business. And I think,
can we just pause on how hyperbolic he
I was
is?
just about to say the drama, like this bitch is clearly a gay man because the theatrics.
Some of the things he raised are obviously real issues, but like claiming the U.S. in 2022 or whatever he's talking about was like Sodom and Gomorrah is crazy work. What'd he say? It's sterilizing the kids in schools
and sacrificing babies to Moloch.
I guess he's probably being intentionally hyperbolic, but I do find
it's very smart, actually. This is how you manipulate people and radicalize them. You put things that are true right next to something that is hyperbolic and then something true. So then they just take it all as true.
how about I don't mind my own business? How about my business is my community, and I have a right to enforce standards and norms that are good and traditional and conducive to flourishing? And how about you mind your own business?
Wow, that was so powerful.
Yeah, but he gets to enforce his standards and norms through the law because he is a theocrat.
Yeah. Every time Michael knows, we just have to like dissect it because
his I believe that you should be able to guide your own life and make decisions for yourself. And he believes that his particular social norms and religious values should be imposed on you through force. And what's so funny is that most people don't support his ultra-trat views or share them. That's like 20% of the country at most. And yet, so in any kind of democratic small d system, if we're going to force people, we're not going to do the live and let live thing. We're going to force one set of norms on people. It's not going to be his norms. So either he is setting himself up to lose, or he doesn't plan on doing any of this democratically.
his entire observation is just not rooted in like reality. I would hate to be so worked up over things that are just they're just insignificant to me.
Like other people's
like
marriages.
Gay marriage. Like, I'm sorry, you're really worked up over marriage.
You cannot look me in the eyes and say two women have never gotten married. You can play semantics.
Adam, I'm looking you right in the eyes. Two women have never married
You're
each
lying.
other in the
That's
history of the
not
world.
true.
I don't know. That just seems
two
like
other people being together and having the right to visit each other in the hospital.
I'm sorry. Right. Like if my husband's
get
on his
health
deathbed
insurance
and stuff like that. Like God forbid.
I actually think you do the conservative cause disservice by doing this, because it's like, obviously, if you're pro-life, you should care about what you believe to be unborn babies being killed.
Sure.
Like that's something you should work on and focus. Lumping that in with things like other people's marriages that literally have no effect on you yeah, you should live and let live when it comes to that, and not on the things where you think egregious violations of other people's rights are being done, because that's the kind of thing you can't live and let live on.
Yeah. It's also worth noting that if you expect the gay community to become more moral and conservative in their like relations and lifestyle, you probably should want gay marriage to be a thing, because if you push gay people out of all societal norms, they're going to reject them all entirely.
But he probably thinks gay people can like
that's the
become
problem.
straight or just be abstinent.
Yeah.
Religiously. Anyway, we're about to get...
That's probably what he's doing. Anyways.
Oh.
But the problem is, you see what you just did there is you spiked your cortisol thinking about transgenders.
Will that max anything on me?
No, that's a very catabolic hormone. So if you're advocating for people to, go around and, concern themselves with these issues, or go to, like school, like board conferences and like, be outspoken about this, that's just largely going to be unproductive. And, it might seem like a doomer mentality, or like, you're just going to let society go to shit. It's like on an individual level, it's not going to be productive.
I just want to translate that in case y'all didn't understand. What Clav says is that you'll spike your stress hormones and it will like age you. So don't bother worrying about any of it.
Well, okay, but he is kind of making a good point. I think that a lot of times, especially political commentators, focus on like a macro perspective of society and how to fix it from a top-down approach, when in reality, real changes in culture and in a country start on the individual level and then become, a collective of productive people. So now I don't think everybody should be taking meth like he allegedly does.
Not allegedly, he says it.
I don't know. I just always say allegedly because somebody's going to sue me inevitably.
The truth is probably somewhere in the middle, in that like literally only focusing on yourself and not caring about anything that doesn't affect you or any macro level issue is, in my view, not really fulfilling your role as a citizen. But some people obsess over the big picture and ignore the fact that they could make real change in their actual life and community.
I think worrying about gay marriage and transgenders is something where you could take that energy and focus on yourself.
But it's not illegitimate to have concerns about social issues and political contentious issues. I agree your primary focus should be on
most people are extreme. They're either going to hyper-focus on the world around them or themselves. So I think he's just advocating for the radical opposite perspective that Michael is showing.
Look, it's been productive in as much as, at least the trans thing, there's so many other problems.
Well, at least
the trans things, though, we've kind of won on that.
Well, the way that I see is like, that's one more person to mug once they brutally butcher themselves transitioning,
But is it, I see that.
Like, go descend yourself. Like, that's fine with me.
Because you're ascending yourself.
Yeah, I'm going to ascend, and this person is going to be a comical botch job, So, like, that just seems like very logical to me. Like, yeah, go be a like, now I mog you to death.
Now, guys, translation for people who don't speak Gen Z, mogging someone is like when you look better than them. So
I think it stands for man of the group.
To use it in a sentence, Brad mogs Clarkson every episode.
Girl. Okay.
No, thank you. No, thank you. Sorry.
Vote in the comments. Anyway. No, but you know what I'm saying? It's to look better. So his argument is literally that let them be because they'll butcher themselves and they'll be easier to look better than.
But the thing is like, it depends on the trans.
I don't know. Some of them are low-key fire.
Trans people are doing the same thing. In their view, they are ascending.
The funny is that looks maxing is so similar.
It's so similar. It's so similar to being trans.
They're like taking drugs. They're scalping themselves.
I do it.
They're doing all this stuff.
I don't do it on like the meth thing, but
and like, my view is, if you're an adult, do whatever you want, right?
Yeah,
within reason. Don't take.
But
crystal
it's like
meth,
you have a goal look and a goal way you want to be perceived, and
because it will fulfill your mental health.
Correct, and you use a bunch of medical procedures to get there. It's the same. It's kind of the same thing.
Looks maxers are like trans, but just towards the
they're just
a hotter version of themselves, but it's actually so similar.
No, they're trans hot. That's what I've always said. I was trans hot. Like, I felt hot on the inside, but then I didn't look it, so I got on testosterone. My transition will be complete when the swelling comes down.
I just do find it funny. And I will say that these are two extreme views between the authoritarian force your view on everyone and the
don't care about anyone.
Literally don't care about anyone but yourself. But I do find at least the clavicular view more sympathetic of the two options because
you err on the side of freedom.
Yeah, I err on the side of freedom of what I want for myself, which is to be the architect of my own life. So you have to afford that to other people.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I think this guy, he's what, 19 years old?
He's like, I think he's 20. I do find him to be very harmful influence though for like young men and on these platforms because he is advocating for illegal activity, like using crystal meth to stay lean. He just, I talk about this on my main channel. He just ran someone over on stream. I think it's fake.
I do too. These streamers, they fake all of these controversies.
All their content is fake and all their controversies are fake. Or like not all of it, but a lot of it.
Like what was it? Like Jack Doherty like got arrested in Miami and then like he didn't actually get arrested. I don't know. It was some stupid stuff. It's just everything seems fake. Well, fake and gay.
Fake and gay. Candace Owens at it. Oh my, we should start using that as one of our like editor. Add that to your database of Candace Owens saying fake and gay.
That seems pretty fake and gay.
So I do find him to be a toxic influence. I think he actually should be banned from these platforms because he's promoting illegal activity. He's not just saying things I don't like. He's literally telling people to use crystal meth to stay lean. And that crystal meth could be freaking laced with fent.
Yeah, that's true. But I think that if he would have just been an influencer saying like, get hot, your life will get better, here's why, like do this, and didn't do all the meth stuff, well, that's not necessarily good. It is true.
But he literally hits his face with hammers.
Yeah, no, that's terrible.
The problem is not, I agree, self-improvement and focusing on looking better so you feel better and have more confidence.
Well, also, and when society perceves you as better
they
looking,
treat you
they
better.
treat you better.
Pretty privilege is a thing.
Very real.
I've suffered from it my entire life.
Girl, he is just gassing himself this whole episode.
You're entitled to your wrong opinion. That's fine.
So the looks maxing message isn't terrible, just the extent to which they do take it.
Yeah.
And they seem to act like looks are all that matters. You would think nothing else has any role. And I think obviously it's a part of it. No one's going to sit here and say that like it doesn't affect your privilege or your life, but it's not everything.
No. And
there's also something so homoerotic about the whole looks maxing community. It's all about like looking hot for other guys.
It's the same thing like bodybuilding is a sport for other men. And that's why they're all in the sauna at the gym doing things.
Are they?
No.
Who said anything about that?
I'm just kidding. I don't do that.
Clarkson would have no idea.
I know. I don't do that. That's illegal and gross.
No, you cannot have my coochie, and you will never have my coochie.
Anyways, are we done with this episode?
Oh my God. Yeah, just about.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, guys, let us know what you think in the comments. Do you think Clarkson goes to saunas? Let us know in the comments. Make sure to subscribe.
I do go to saunas.
But that's not what I meant. Hit the like button. Make sure to become a member to hear from Clarkson's sister. And we'll be back with more Normal Gays content real soon.